Hello, ladies and oh, I'm doing the wrong one. Let me start over. Hello, lovers and haters. This is your man over Mustang. You're tuned into Aura-Genz, your friendly local hub podcast show. Today we got an electrifying interview lineup that's going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into the world of music, culture, and creativity. With guest is about to drop some serious wisdom, so get ready to vibe with us because we're about to bring the heat, celebrate underground artists and the power of music. Stay tuned. It's about to get real. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm the Highway Story. I am a New York-based alternative artist. I like to say alternative because I make a lot of hip hop, rap, R&B, like rock, metal, like all that stuff. I make a lot of different kind of genres, but I put it all under the scope of alternative because that's pretty much, um, that's me. Um, my music is therapy to me. It is it's like a sense of freedom, escape, and it's like the best way I know to kind of like express myself and understand myself and what I'm feeling. And like, just like me growing up, music has always been like an escape and a means to understand myself and the world and things like that. And so like, that's kind of like what I want my music to do for other people, outside of like me just, like art is art. I'm always going to make art no matter what. I don't care if people like it or not because it's for me. But if
Mm.
you can connect with it, then I feel like I've done my job. But yeah, I'm the Highway Story. I look forward to like telling you guys more about myself and my music and my story and my journey.
Shout out to you. And I'm curious, when it comes to your range of art. Well, I got to know you as a musician, but I see in your background that you also dabble in visual arts as well. So I'm just curious, what is your range of art do you dabble into?
Um, yeah, like I mean, I've always been very like um I would say artistic, but like not not to say that as like, oh, like, I'm like,
Mm,
but like art has always been a means to an end for me. Like I've always been I'm a very like emotional person, right? And that's something that I've now grown more into as an adult, but growing up, like, especially like just as like a black kid that loves like rock and all that stuff that just wasn't really like a norm, or I guess like norm to a lot of people.
mm,
There's just certain comments and things you get that just put you down, and like I never really knew how to process a lot of those things, and so like I was always the kind of person that fidgets a lot, and so like I had a teacher that would like, that got me into singing, and that was like in elementary school. And then like singing and drawing, doodling was a thing for me. And then from doodling, I would always be doing like arts and crafts stuff. Like I loved Power Rangers growing up, so I would make like
mm,
paper morphers for me and my friends. And like that's where like all that stuff started for me. And like, I got into like baking really early on in my life. And, my mom taught me how to sew at a very early age. Like she taught me a lot of like things, like how to like really be independent and stuff. So like all of those things kind of just ended up flowing into the art without me knowing it, just subconsciously. Like it was just always going to go that way, from like trying to make clothes, sewing old clothes, like, dyeing things, painting, drawing. But like music has always just been that one thing for me because it's like poetry. It is like expression, it is freedom, I think it is the essence of life, of being human, because it's, regardless of what people say, like it is the truest form anyone can ever be. Because like, I mean, like not outside of like when you're making mindless stuff, when you're making real stuff, like real conscious, like music, I think that like that whoever the artist is that's making that, like they're putting their heart on their sleeves. They're being extremely vulnerable to not only themselves but like the world to then criticize or whatever the hell they want to do, And
mm,
like it's the I personally feel like being an artist, not just music. I feel like being an artist in any way, shape, or form, it is the hardest job field you could ever go into or pursue because like of that statement. You are literally putting your entire being out in the open for people to criticize and make their own interpretation of, like, and that's like, so many people deal with anxiety, depression, and a warped sense of identity. And so it's like, can you imagine like all the creatives that also have those things and are still putting like the art out there. Like I think that's so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Like I think like and that's why like whenever I meet new artists, whether in person or online, I always like I'm like your biggest cheerleader because for myself, like I see myself in every artist because it's like, yo, you need that motivation. Like there's so many songs where like this is trash, like people are gonna hate it, da da da, they're gonna hate me because when you hate the art, it's like you hate the artist because you don't know the hours, the nights we like spent writing the song, rewriting the song, the months, the year, like, dude, like there's so much that goes to it, and people just think it's just like you write a song, you mix it, you master it, you put it out, you make content, and that's it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so like when you really know the ins and out of it, like you gotta look at artists or anyone just willing to be like courageous enough to pursue it and put themselves out there. I think that like whoever's listening, like I hope you hear it that like I'm proud of you and you are genuinely an amazing person. Like even podcasting, like that is a form of art to me. And I think that it takes so much courage to have a dream, to have a vision, to believe it more than anything else because it's your dream and it's who you are. And then to keep putting it out there in hopes that other people see it and believe it. Like that's such a beautiful thing. That's the essence of being human to me. And
Shout
yeah,
out to
like
shout out
yeah,
to you,
man.
man. I also like to shout out to your mom too as well. You mentioned that she gave you tools to be, independent. Do you have a memorable lesson that you learned from her that you hold
Oh
dear to
man.
this day?
Yeah, man. So many, so many, so many. She's my best friend. She's literally like she's me. And I think that being an adult is what helped me realize all those things because I feel like a lot of us like, we have like these misconceptions of our parents and not everyone has like a perfect childhood or things like that. There's a lot of like trauma and different things, but you know, one thing I always try to look at now is like I am the main character in my own life. So that means I am the director, the producer, the playwright, screenwriter, playwriter, editor, everything. And so that same concept applies to everyone. So with that being said, like who am I to try to direct your life? You know, all I can do is the best I can do. And so like with that being said, like I now look at like a lot of things that like she's taught me and tried to teach me. It's just you did the best you could do with what you had. And being an adult is realizing every day you do the best you can with what you have. And there's
Mm,
just so much like healing and freedom and release that comes from that because life is not really supposed to be so hard or serious. I think that we make it hard and then also like just the way that the foundation of what society was built on wasn't designed for creative freedom. It wasn't designed for free thinkers. It wasn't. And that's
mm,
why there's so many people that suffer because they aren't okay with the state of the world, so they'll never fit in. Whereas there are people that have grown so accustomed and numb to the evils of the world that they just see it as like a social, like a regular thing, social norm. And
mm,
it's like navigating through that maze, that field of like sheep and trying to find your own herd. And it's a lot. It's like there's just so many things you can take from it, but she's the one who really helped me see that. And that's something I take from her like all the time, just doing the best you can with what you have every day and just believing in yourself more than anything, truly.
I agree. Shout out to your mom.
Shout out to her for real. Shout out to all the moms. Y'all the
Shout out to
best.
all
Y'all
the
the goats.
moms. Definitely majority, hopefully. Um, okay, and then bringing on another topic that you brought up as well. You brought up cooking, so I'm
Yeah.
curious. Do you have a favorite dish that you like to prepare yourself?
Um, yeah, so like I love fried rice. I
Mm,
make fried rice like almost on a weekly basis, if not like every other week or something like that. Usually it's like fried rice and then I'll make some like chicken and like vegetables. I love my greens. I've always been like super, super into greens, so I have a lot of that stuff in my diet. Um, I'm Nigerian, so just a lot of like Nigerian cuisines, so like eba, amala, or jollof rice. I think that I need to work on my jollof because it's definitely nowhere near what my mom's is, and that's like a family recipe thing. Because I
mm,
mean, like jollof is a universal like African thing. I'm not gonna say like Nigerians like fully own it, but I think it's like everyone makes it differently. Like everyone has their own kind of like little, twist to it. And
like the
for
macaroni and
mine,
cheese.
yeah, exactly. Like the mac and cheese, yeah. And so for mine, like it was from like, my mom who got it from her mom, her grandma, her mom, and then so on and so on. So yeah, I'm like working
Mm.
on it. I'm working on the recipes, man. I'm still learning. There's so much to learn with Nigerian cuisines, but I'm literally like I'm picking up cookbooks right now whenever I can.
No, I feel you. Shout out to that. And shout out to fried rice.
Yeah,
Um, I am when it comes to like my favorite food is between like pasta or almost anything with rice. Uh, I'm
can't go
not
wrong
too
with
fan
pasta.
of like mushrooms. Like that's my least favorite. But I'm curious, what is your least favorite vegetable?
Um, I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have them?
I don't have one. Like I genuinely don't know if there's anything I don't like.
Okay.
I've I've never been a picky eater. I've always just loved food. Food is like, if it wasn't for music and art,
Mm,
I'd probably be like a professional eater or something. Like I love food. Dude, you could put like any kind of new food in front of me and I'd be so open to try it. Like I genuinely love
okay.
food. Yeah.
Okay. So will we ever see you appear on those challenges when they bring on like special guests to like appear on like cooking shows and stuff?
Yo, I would love to do that. I'd be so down for that.
Okay. That'd be dope. Will you be
Yeah.
a contender or will you be like the judge?
Mm, that's tough. Okay. I think I have to be honest. I think I can't have the power of being a judge because
Okay.
I would be too unbiased. I would be too
Okay.
unbiased because like every contestant, I'd be like, this shit is fire. This shit's fire. This shit's fire. Every judge would look at me like, bro, like what the fuck?
Mm. No,
Maybe
that's
being
funny
a
as shit.
contender is the
I
better
thought you
way.
would have took it. I thought you would have took it just simply be the person to try the food. Because typically the contender don't get to try the food. Or at least the other contenders.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that would probably be the only reason why I would do it to try the food. But like, if I was doing it for real, like I'd have to be honest with them and be like, yo, listen, I'm here to try the food and I can't really give you guys like, I don't know, man. 'Cause like, if I say everyone is fire, I literally mean
Mm.
everyone is fire and I don't know if that's gonna like, that's what you guys are looking for. I'd have to be honest with them about it. I'd be like, listen.
Okay.
I, I love food. So if every contestant shows up and it tastes great, looks good, smells good, I might just give everyone a 10 out of 10.
Okay. I respect that. I'm pretty sure the contenders would appreciate that. Like, hey, we don't have to worry about that one guy. That's the only
Yeah.
thing.
They're gonna look at me like, yeah, we got him in the bag. It's alright. We don't gotta worry about
Real shit. You know, and
him.
we never seen that. That might be entertaining.
No.
But okay. So the last thing that you brought as well, when you brought Power Rangers, I'm curious, which the color was your favorite Power Ranger? Or if you do, you had a specific one.
Um, nah, yeah, nah, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. Um, R.I.P. Tommy.
Shout out.
That's the GOAT. Shout out him for real. Um, yeah, that just made me like sidetrack. But like Black Ranger, when I've always loved the Black Ranger. And for me, this two specific ones would literally, obviously for me would be like Mighty Morphing and then Zeo. Like those
Okay.
two, just like I loved the Black Ranger costumes in both of those two shows. Those were definitely like my favorite for the Black Ranger for sure. And yeah, the Black Ranger would be my favorite. Then I would say like close second, if like if not tied at first, the Green Ranger. And I just feel like that's so
Okay.
like everyone's gonna say that. Everyone's gonna say that. Everyone's gonna either have the Green Ranger as number one or top five, but like you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm, I
yeah.
respect that. Okay, okay. And my last question to the Power Ranger, do you ever had a favorite crossover?
Um yeah. 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 Um bro. Dino Thunder, man.
Mm,
When I tell you Dino Thunder, like that shit ate. That shit really ate. Like Power Rangers Dino Thunder is easily top five for me. The crossover with everyone coming in, yo, they, God, like, it's like I'm literally getting flashbacks, bro. Cause like they brought all my favorite, like Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm is in
mm,
my top five. Those are the,
I
oh my
respect
God,
that.
Mystic Force in my
I
top
respect
five. Like,
that.
no, yo, like
Mm,
the whole gang. SPD, first Black Red Ranger, like, no, like, yo, like,
mm,
yes, yes, yes. No, yeah, Dino Thunder.
I
That was
respect
literally
that.
my favorite crossover they did. They brought everybody back, and that was beautiful. That was great to see.
I respect that. Okay, okay. And when it came to bringing this back to your music, actually, I'm gonna bring this to your art, to give you a chance to promote that as well. Can you tell us a bit about your inspiration behind your visual arts?
Um, so like the inspiration with like visual arts, that one's like really kind of like all over the place because like I would say that I've always like just been in love with visuals. Visuals have just always been something that like I really loved. Like I always think about like even though like I don't really have like a lot of that yet, which is something I'm gonna start working on, like visuals, music videos and things like that. Because I'm really like putting more into all that stuff now. But yeah, like every time I think of a song, like every song I've written or recorded that I have out, like literally the majority of them, if not all of them, I have like music videos I made up in my head already. Like the process of creating for me always aligns with visuals, even though like I might not always have visuals. Like there's something playing in my head all the time. Like that's my creative process. I write basically through visuals. So I think
Oh,
that like I
okay.
look at it like, yeah, like the music is the full picture, you know? Like, I think, the canvas would be like the instrumental, right? And then the lyrics are like the image, whatever it is. And then, the song is like the full picture. It's me, like, presenting the art piece. Um, but yeah, like visual. I love Breakins. He's like a newer artist. I love like the way he works around visuals. Like it's his team. That stuff is a really cool. Like vaporwave is like a weird genre of music, but like if you just look up like videos and like if you just do vaporwave and you see like the kind of like animation or visuals they use behind that, like that's like the general sense of where a lot of my inspiration comes from for visuals or like where my head is at. Or like
Mm,
sometimes like when I'm like gonna record or write music, I just go on YouTube and I put in like 24-hour loop of jellyfish and like literally it's just jellyfish floating around with different like colors and atmospheric shit,
mm,
like I love that kind of stuff.
I feel you, I feel you. And when it comes to like to your when it comes to like your visual arts, like are you a sketcher? Do you do like some painting? What's your range?
Um, yeah, yeah, I think that I'm definitely more of a sketcher. Do a lot of doodles and things like that. I have painted. I don't think that I'm the greatest painter. It's definitely something that I want to get like into more this like summer. Because literally you could just do it. We could do whatever we want, and there's no limit. It's just trial and error till you get it. But yeah, it's mostly just sketching and like doodles. And then like I guess like if I really like it, I want to go with it, then I will usually like just scan it or like I'll send it to a friend to have them like digitalize it for me.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that. And will you happen to have merchandise?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I did like some prints for like my first project, which my friend made the artwork for. That was really good. I also have like a general like logo that I have prints for. I just definitely need to make more merch. That's the main thing. I have merch. I just need to make more merch. I need to like kind of like put that out more for people to kind of like digest and have access to. That's something I'm definitely lacking on that I need to work on for sure. But I definitely do have merch for sure.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what do your merch lineup consist of? Like t-shirts, stickers?
Yeah. So right now it's mostly just t-shirts and stickers.
Okay.
Um, yeah. I don't know if I want to like dive into anything other than t-shirts and stickers right now because I kind of want to like keep it plain and simple for now. As I just kind of like build this vision I have in mind. But yeah, yeah, the stickers are like really, really great. I got to get more of those. People really love the stickers. I usually would just give them out at like shows or just walk around the city and just give them to people or put it wherever I can.
No real shit. Okay. So you offer and when it comes to like the stickers, like what is the image on the stickers? Is it like a custom
uh,
image you made or but go ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a logo. It's the highway story. It's basically my name.
Okay.
With a logo like clouds and stuff. Um, I'll definitely like send you a picture because I do have merch that I could pull out. But yeah, I want to work on like different variations of the logo because I did
Mm.
have like when we first were working on the logo, we had a couple different color variations. We ended up going with the light blue one, but I just had this idea like later on of going back to that and really exploring it more because like we could definitely do different prints on like a white tee. I think that if I do like, maybe the blue with the white and then maybe the orange with the white, you know what I'm saying? Just keep switching the color of the logo. But that's something I'll
Okay.
work on. I'll
Okay.
probably do some like demos and see how like they come out and how I like them and whatnot.
Okay. No, I respect that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm also
But
curious on what inspired your name? And did you have another name before the highway story?
yeah, um, it's like a funny story every time I tell it. It's like,
Uh,
I had there are two bands that I really loved growing up, like middle school, high school. Um,
uh,
one is like called The Story So Far, and then the other one is called Your Highway Home.
mm,
And I would always like doodle in class and fill my notebooks with like random ideas and stories and whatnot. And I eventually like when I was thinking about like band names, not even like solo artists, just like band names. I stumbled on that. I was like, I kind of just took Your Highway Home and this story so far, and then the highway story.
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I wrote it down and it like clicked. It just was like, yo, this sounds like a really cool name, but I never used it. besides like as a handle for like a while, I was going under the name Yuba for a while. Um,
Mm.
yeah, which is basically just kind of it's essentially my middle name, but just kind of changed a little bit. But yeah, that was like what I was doing for a while. And then like yeah, I just played in like different bands throughout high school, like experimenting with music, and then I think eventually later on in life when I was like, yo, like this is something you really, really love. You should really start doing it for real. And that was kind of like COVID. But yeah, I was like COVID. COVID is when I really like sat down and it was like, let's start working on what you want this vision to be. And it's just been kind of like finding the sound, creating the vision, all that stuff. And once I kind of found my sound and understood the vision I was trying to create, now it's kind of like pushing that. That's where like I would say I'm at now.
Okay. And remind me of how you explain your style again.
It's uh it's alternative. I would say like it's like a
Mm.
lot of genres, but just under the umbrella of alternative.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, alternative artist, and the journey that you're on right now, is it's safe to say that you'd be exploring and diving deeper into that.
hmm
Okay. Do you be, do you have any idea of exploring any other genres that you like to add to your repertoire?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm like I'm thinking about what I haven't done yet because like I've pretty much done just about every genre. I wouldn't say like every genre, but like every main genre that like I love that I listen to a lot. Like I've done a lot of hip hop, I've done a lot of trap, I've done a lot of like alternative, post-hardcore, emo, Midwest. Um, I've done electronical, um, like a few like breakbeat kind of stuff. Um, I think like the main thing I probably haven't done yet is like something more like closer to country. Because I do have something that's like that, but I say it's more like a indie country, but I haven't done something more country. But maybe I'll do that. I do like country music a little bit. Like it's not my favorite genre, but I definitely like country. I'm not gonna sit here and be like oh my God, I hate country. Nah, there's a decent amount of
Mm.
country artists I like Casey Musgraves. I really like Casey Musgraves. She's a phenomenal artist for sure.
Okay. I'd be curious to see, how your sound will evolve and expand in the near future. But from what I was able to check out from your YouTube, I'm pretty impressed. I think you got potential for sure.
Thank you.
And you're a solo artist, correct?
Yeah.
Do you still have interest in joining a band or forming a band?
Sure, yeah, for sure. For sure, 100%. I think that if like a opportunity or position probably ever like presents itself, like I wouldn't shy away from joining a project or a band or forming something. I think it's more just so that like everything just has to align. I've like I've learned that it's better to just let things align than to constantly try to force something. So that's just like
Hmm.
how I look at bands now. Because a lot of the times it's just like trying to force things that are just not working, clashing ideas, egos, or whatever the case is. And it's just things that are meant to work just kind of align itself. That's like how I view things now. So I think like I'm focusing heavily on my solo stuff, and if something does open up, like I'll definitely like take that, but I'll never stop like the highway story because I think that like it's really important, and I think that it means something because it means a lot to me, and I think that like it will mean a lot to other people too, and that it can mean a lot to other people. It's just it needs to get there. It needs to get to the people. And like that's kind of like what this journey is about now. Yeah.
I respect that. Before we head to the halfway break, my last question, uh, what is a fun fact about you?
Mm, what's a fun fact about me? Um. Oh, okay, 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 okay. I run about a mile to 2 miles every day.
Mm, shout
I
out to
think
you.
it's uh it's like it's like the greatest thing ever. And it's like I tell everyone, like it's like all my friends, I'm just like, you don't even have to run, you don't even have to jog, you can just walk. But I think that like it's just so important to disconnect for just it doesn't matter if it's like 60 seconds or an hour, or whatever. It's just so important to set time aside every day to just disconnect. And that's like my time to disconnect, to like just not have anything on me, to just kind of like live in the moment, focus on my breathing. How am I feeling? What are we going to do today? Let's make today great. Just those little things. And it sounds like cheesy and like whatever, but it's just so important. It's just so important. It's just so important.
No, shout out to you. I also thought you was doing that as the way to keep up your stamina for your performance.
Yeah, well, that too.
Okay. So that, yeah, that all makes sense. But shout out to you for doing that every day.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming to the halfway mark, I actually have some talents that you might find useful or you would like to connect with, but I'll let you decide that those are the type of people you want to network with. Uh, but the first one I'm going to shout out is One Nation, a black author. He creates his own comic books slash manga. So if you'd like to get to know somebody that's,
Ooh.
within that field, we can make that happen.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I love manga, man. That's like that would have been the fun fact I would have went with if I didn't say it.
Okay.
The running thing. Yeah, I love that stuff, dude. I mean, I've been reading my whole life. So yeah,
Well,
for
you
sure.
have
I would definitely.
favorite series?
Um, Man, this is tough. This is tough. There's so much that I've read. If I have to say my favorite piece of work, there's one that I want to say, but I can't say it because it's not done yet, so it doesn't count. So I'm just gonna go off of something that is done that I really, really like. Um, and it's called like Opart's Hunter. It was
Mm,
one of like the first ones that I read because like Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece were like one of the first things I read as a kid. And then I really got into Naruto a lot out of all the well specifically Bleach first, then
mm,
Naruto. And I would always look into the authors because I'd be like, oh, I want to like read your other like work. And Kishimoto, he has like a brother and I like found that out and like just read his work and it none of his stuff I think really got as popular as like his brothers did because Naruto Shippuden, Boruto, all that stuff. But like his stuff was really, really, really good, and I always liked how like he wrapped things up. Just yeah, I just loved his work. And Oparts was the
mm.
first one I read, and it's like always been up there for me. I usually like reread it every like I wouldn't say every year, but like every now and then, like I'll just like it'll pop back in, and I'll be like, it's time for a good reread.
Mm. No, I
Yeah,
respect that. I respect that. And shout out to you for sharing that. Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, I think in not only he is the author, he's the artist as well. So you gotta be able to connect, being both musicians as well.
Nice. No, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. I'm gonna send you all the information after the show. Um
Awesome.
the second one that I would like to shout out is Jeremy. He's located in North Carolina. He's starting up. Not only he's an artist, but he's also starting up his series called Tap Room Live. Where he taking talent to perform live in front of a small crowd, such as establishments such as like restaurants, etc.
Mhm.
But I know he's working on expanding to more locations. But if you like
Yeah,
to you know stay tuned or see what he's about, I could definitely send his socials to you.
yeah, no, yeah, that's amazing. That literally like you gotta send me that for sure. Cause like right off the bat, man, like that's what I'm about. Like when you reached out to me, I was just like, yeah, man, like it's so important for us to create a community, like a real community. I think that it's time for us, the creators, the artists, to take the power back. You know, it's like stuff that like Prince would say all the time, like we should be in control. We should be having the majority of everything because we are everything, you know? So I think like this is the way, like making these connections, like even if we're fucking states apart, you know, like country apart, it
Mm,
doesn't matter. Like as long as we keep expanding with this mutual mindset, and we just kind of like slowly take the industry back, not even take over, take the industry back. Like, yeah, this is the way.
mm,
This is the way. It's like
nah,
artists supporting artists. I love it. I love it. I love
I
it.
agree. I agree. I fuck with that statement. Um, Another person that I would like to shout out to you. Not only is a musician as well, I would say Jeremy more of a country slash pop artist. Uh, One Nation is more of a R&B, what do you want to put it? Lyricist art. It's kind of hard to, but he's more of a alternative artist. I would put him. While this artist that I'm about to recommend to you, uh, the Kingsman Squash Disaster. Um, he's more of a nomad folk music, but he's also got a podcast as well where you get to sit down with a fellow artist and chop it up. If that would seem like your thing, or you just like to connect with him as an artist, I can send out his socials to you as well.
Yeah, bring that one in too. Both of them sounds amazing. Connecting as an artist and also just another opportunity to kind of like chop it up because I think that it's so like I I love the mysterious shit. I've always loved it. I think it's a cool way to introduce yourself, this and that, but now that shit is so outplayed, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
motherfuckers is so focused on trying to be mysterious, trying to be like, oh, I'm not a regular person. And then when they blow up, you know, and paparazzi's following them all the time and all this and that, then it's like, you guys treat me like I'm not human, da da da. And like, I get both sides of it, but it's like, bro, like what? Yeah,
mm,
do you want to be treated as a person or do you want to be treated as a celebrity? You can't pick and choose, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, because celebrities are human. We are, regular people. I'm not a fucking celebrity.
mm,
Even if like my stuff gets to that level, I don't ever want to see myself as one because I'm a person. At the end of the day, I'm always going to be a person. I have feelings. I express that. I have my own thoughts, all that stuff. Like, so I never want people to see me as anything higher than themselves. Like I'm a regular ass guy. I just make music and I put that shit out there,
mm,
like it's just so weird. Like we put people on pedestals that are not real. Like we all bleed the same. We all die of old age and just life, like it's,
mm.
so yeah, I want people to know me. I want people to like, whatever perception of me you have, so be it. It's not up to me to change that, to control that, to narrate that. I know my truth. I know myself. And, like
Okay, I
whether
respect
you
that.
like me, you don't like me, that's between you and God.
I respect that. And I'm gonna take you up on your word because the last thing I'm gonna offer you as well. We recently started our own music label. Shout out to
Mm.
For You and Life Records. But we make our own soundtrack. Uh, we make soundtracks for artists to hop on around like various themes and challenges. So if you're
Mm.
looking for a platform to test your pen or to work with fellow peers or exposure, we creating a series where you know we will offer challenges for y'all to hop on and be the
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Our
dude,
first
I love
soundtrack
that.
that our first soundtrack is mixing horror with Valentine's. So it's basically mixing romance with thriller. Um, if that sounds like your cup of tea, we would definitely send you more information. Or if you're just interested to network with the producer that produced the first soundtrack for us, shout out to Moss. Uh, I could definitely send you those over after the show.
Yeah, definitely both of them. Yeah,
Okay,
dude,
but
I love the challenge, man. Like that, the that scene, bro, paid in full. A nigga like me,
mm,
I love the game. I love the hustle. Like, dude, I love it, man. Like, I love it. Like, I love just putting my pen against another person's and not on some like, this is like, I mean, it is a competition, but this is
mm,
not about like, I'm trying to backdoor you, da 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 da. Like, I wanna, I wanna see your level, and
okay,
then I wanna see if I can reach that level, and then I wanna see if I can surpass that level. And then if I
okay,
do surpass that level, now I want you to reach that level, surpass that level, so I can do it all over again. You feel me? That's what it's all
okay.
about.
So
That's like,
we actually encourage that. So you allow to either bring chaos with your verse or to bring harmony. So if you
mm,
want to challenge your fellow artists and you want to be like, be the one that owns the track, because we didn't paint it as a way to like to conquer our beats, or to
mm,
bring harmony is to, make it easier for your fellow artists to hop on, after you. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, you get to select three beats out of 10 to participate on. And then if you would like to stay updated to who else challenge that beat, we will also, keep you updated and send you their verse.
Yes, sir. I like that. I like
Okay.
that.
Okay, but I would definitely send you more information after the show.
Awesome.
Bringing this back to your music, I was checking out like I was saying, I was checking out your YouTube, and I was watching not only I listened to your latest album that came out. Hold on, give me a second. I need some
I'm
light.
working on it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, no
working on it.
problem.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I listened to that recent album. I thought that most of the songs I actually enjoy. I didn't think it was a bad song on there so far. Um, I also check out your music videos. I saw some of your live performance. Uh, what was it? Picture Perfect. I thought that was a pretty dope
Yeah,
performance.
thank you. That's like one of like my oldest songs for sure. That's like that was definitely when I was like figuring out like the sound, you know? 'Cause like I said, like
Mm,
I do a lot of like hip hop and pop and all that stuff and just trying to like not be like everyone else. Like obviously I have inspirations and things like that, but you know, the art versus imitation versus art, like those are things that I constantly weigh because I will never like, I'm always very open about my inspirations, where I get ideas from and things like that, but I think that like it's very also important that to put yourself into it. You can't just like try to be someone else, then you're always going to be number two, not number one. So
mm.
that's like a little like perspective to just paint there for a second.
Shout out to you. And when it came to your live performance so far, do you have a particular favorite live performance?
Um, I definitely do. I think that my favorite live performance I've done so far has to have been like it's gonna almost be 2 years, I think. But
Mm. Since you
yeah,
last
like
performed?
no, no, not since I last performed, but like since
Oh,
I performed at this venue, like I performed at Bowery Electric in the city in New York. Um,
okay.
and it's really I love that venue. I've seen like a decent amount of people there at that venue, so like just kind of like playing at that venue was like a full circle moment, but also just the experience for me because I mixed. That was when I really started mixing a lot of like my um live tracks with backing tracks, and then also like playing more acoustic stuff. So it was just a, it was yeah, it was like an amazing experience all around that helped me kind of have a better idea of how to shape my like live performances and things like that.
Okay. Shout out to you and congratulations on that.
Maybe.
And also give you the floor too. When it comes to like talent or people that you looking to network with, who are you looking for or in need of when it comes to like, talent?
Mm, yeah, I guess like when it comes to talent, like I'm always going to be looking for I guess like different producers to work with. Um, 'Cause like I mean obviously like I like produce myself too from time to time. I co-produce with friends. I have like producers that I already work with, but I think like going back to the community thing, like it's just always good to expand your plate and never let your ego get the best of you because I just feel like I can always be better. I can always do better. I can always improve. So I think having an outside perspective always helps. So like always down to connect with like new producers. For sure visual artists. That's a big thing.
Mm,
Yeah, visual artists for sure. Um, yeah, but I think that would be the main thing. I really think those like the only two things because everything else for the most part, I feel like, I got a lot of good people around me. I got like a lot of good things kind of like aligning itself at the moment. So I would say, yeah, that those two would probably be the thing that I would say, yeah, I could always use more of that.
okay. And uh when it comes to like future projects, is there anything that you would like to update to the audience that you're working on? Anything they can look
Uh,
forward to?
yeah, yeah. After I told myself that, this after I drop the project, it's gonna be a crazy year. Because I've been just posting content every day for the project, and it's been it's been enough time I feel now for myself where I'm ready to like really start like just going. So I'm currently working on it right now, but there's going to be a new song that will definitely be out by the end of May. I'm already like posting content for it. It's called Borderline. Um, I've got like, little snippets of it on all my socials already, so you could definitely find that.
Mm,
But I will have like a pre-save up for that soon. But yeah, the goal is to shoot for like the end of May, and yeah, the plan is just like a new song every month for the
new
whole
song
year.
every month.
And then
Okay.
like it's like the new song that's dropping, it's gonna lead into like an EP. So, I'm definitely just gonna be treating the people, everyone tapped in. I'm gonna be treating them for sure this year. So it's like new music every month, and then I would say by like by like the third or fourth month, you're getting like an EP with the songs with like maybe one or two extra little surprises, and just that's the whole year. I'm treating the people.
Okay. Shout out to that. Shout out to that. Bringing this back to your music. Um, a few songs that stand out to me on your latest album. I'm working on it. Uh, what was it? Beatboxing with My Demons,
Oh man, yeah, that's a classic.
Brick by Brick, Flower
Yeah,
Bed,
yeah,
From Dusk to Dawn. Um, I believe it's Vow.
yeah.
hmm
Woo.
Those are the songs that stick to me being a first time listener.
Man, I'm so glad that those songs stick out to you for sure, 'cause definitely like Flower Bed is one of the ones that I definitely have been pushing a lot more. So like that's good, 'cause like it from the reception I've gotten, it's always really in like,
Yeah.
the top like mentions for people that have listened to the project. So that's like always a good like reception to get. But yeah, I love those songs. I mean, the whole album. I love the whole album. Every song has it's all a giant story, but every song tells something specific. And I think that like the ones you pulled out were like, oh man, yeah, the gut wrenching stuff.
So if you don't mind taking we could take some time to go by each song if you would like to promote it.
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
start
I
by
do.
Beatboxing with My Demons. How that what inspired that song?
I do not mind at all. I'm actually about to like pull up the project myself real quick. So, um, I guess like the first thing I could say with beatboxing, so like the full thing is like beatboxing with my demons, which is why it's like abbreviated BVWMD. That song, it's like a little, there's a little funny story to it, which gives it good lore. Um, I was definitely lit off of a beatbox. For the, I, I had a beatbox for the first time. And that shit had me spinning. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
Oh wow.
gonna lie.
Wait, so you was
It
actually
had,
beatboxing?
yo, I was actually beatboxing.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nah, dude, 'cause like so it's like hold on, let me fix this. Okay. So it was like a very it was a sunny day. Hey, sorry about that.
No problem. You said
Yeah,
that?
my camera disconnected. Yeah, so Uh, like I said, I had the beatbox. I was beatboxing, but yeah, with that, the whole thing, I had the track. I had basically been listening to the track. I didn't really know where I wanted to go with it yet, but I
Mm.
just was like, something about this is like, there's something here. A lot of, and I'm sure, I'm trying to grab a charger. And I'm sure a lot of artists can like relate to this, but like, there's certain tracks that, not even certain tracks, a lot of tracks will write themselves. And those are usually the tracks that are like your golden egg, that's your baby. Because it's like, yo, like that came from within. It came from something. And so like, drinking that beatbox and just kind of, yeah, I was having me time. I was just chilling and I was listening to a track and it came to a certain point, like, and that's where it starts, like that ending point where, I start coming in, beatboxing with my demons. I can't, like, I literally was just like, I was like beatboxing that melody, right? And eventually doing it over and over and over, I'm like beatboxing with with the beatbox in hand. I'm like, beatboxing with and bro, and it just clicked right there, and I was like, I gotta go fucking record this shit right now, and the rest was history because it wrote itself, and now when I come back to it, like, there's just so many feelings to unpack there that like I now realize, it's just beatboxing with my demons is just kind of like it's facing yourself and also facing like just the world or whatever situation you're in. It's like facing the perception, that might have been created of you, that might be warped, so just whatever it is, it's literally saying like, fuck it, I'm done like being scared and letting the fear get the best of me. I'm gonna go face them, you know? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what best way to kind of like, cause you know, people are scared of things that make them uncomfortable. And so
Mm-hmm.
with writing, a lot of the times when I'm writing uncomfortable feelings or situations, I always try to like, as vulnerable as I can be, dilute it a little bit. And I thought that like, you know, beatboxing with my demons, like saying beatboxing, like you know what beatboxing is, and you know what a demon is, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy to put that in a situation. But it's just like it's to make you see that like, yeah, a, like a demon is fucking, you know, it's bad, it's evil, this and that, but there can't be light without darkness, and it can't be darkness without light. There's always balance, you know,
Okay.
and you can't be afraid to face those things that you might have done or were done to you that you feel is like demonic, you know, like is that demon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like put it in front of you, whether you yell at it, cry to it, beatbox to it, sing to it, whatever the fuck it is, face it, and you'll be good because you realize, like, bro, it ain't nothing. Like, you yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. And out of this project, uh, I'm working on it. What is your favorite verse that you wrote?
Mm. um. mm, oh man, I'm like staring at these songs right now. Like, I definitely wrote some stuff here. Oh. Hmm. I think for me, it would be Neon Panic. And that's definitely probably also going to be my favorite song off of the project because I just have such a soft spot for that song and everything it represents for me. But
Okay.
in the end, I say, um, why'd you fall for a narcissist like me? You'll tear me apart, cave into somber lines of lust and lies until we realign. And and then it goes into the chorus, which is neon panic switch, swear I'm over this, deprivating love, haven't got my fix, I'm still stuck on this ending, baby. And when you kind of like look at what that means, at least for me, like I, you know, just like any other person, like I'm a human. I've made mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life and just a lot of things that I think that like I'm just not proud of, and realizing that it's like you can't let shame control you or dictate your actions or identify with that because that's when you start to devalue yourself and your identity and just who you are because when you look at it, people are human. People make mistakes. Like everyone is redeemable. Who are you to like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
tell someone who's redeemable or who isn't? I mean, it's just like, yeah, outside of like what you feel and the hurt you feel, like you can't, it's just not no man, woman, what human being on this earth should have the power to determine the worth of another human being or
Mm-hmm.
to determine their identity, all that shit, you know, like this, and that's kind of like what Neon Panic switches for me, because obviously it's about like relationship turbulences, the up and down. It's very toxic, but also it's kind of like looking from the like a third perspective of like, yo, I'm telling all of my fucking wrongs, and I'm being conscious of it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so as I'm being fully conscious and transparent, it's like it's healing me because, you know, in the intro of the song, haven't seen you smile in quite a while, iridescent love shape shifting us. And it's like iridescent, beautiful colors, all these things, you know, and it's like you get so blinded by the beauty sometimes you don't see the darkness because backtracking with light there's darkness, with darkness there's light, but it's finding balance. But a lot of the times we let one or the other overshadow the entire picture. You know, it's either just really, really good or really, really bad. There's never any balance. And that's what kind of like Neon Panic paints. It takes you into a third perspective of seeing the really, really good and the really, really bad. And then the ending is kind of like trying to come to terms with all of it and then find the balance. Um, yeah, at least that's what I hope that people like interpret it, because that's what it is. But I love that
Shout
song.
out to and that was
Uh,
Neon Panic.
yeah, it's Neon Panic.
Okay. And another one that I think I forgot to write it down, but I think it was Interstellar.
Yeah,
That was another one that stand out to me. I like the switch up. I thought that was pretty good. But I am curious, for first time listeners, if they were to hit shuffle, on your whole, what do you want to call it? Uh, on your whole
project.
library.
Oh, where?
Uh, yeah, if they would have hit shuffle on your whole library, where should they start?
Um, like on the track or just my entire discography?
We're gonna give two answers. One within working on it,
Okay,
uh album, and then for your whole library.
okay. Um, if I was gonna talk about the album, I would say for first time listeners, you truly have to just listen to it from like top to bottom. Like
Top to
just the first
bottom.
time. The first time, listen to it top to bottom. Like you truly have to listen to it top to bottom for the shuffle to make sense. And I don't know if that makes sense, but
Mm,
you listen to it top to bottom, then you play it on shuffle, and it kind of tells all the story in a weird order, but it'll always like make sense. Like if you literally shuffle the entire thing after like you first listen to it, because Interstellar is is the intro, you know? I mean, I mean, obviously it's the first song, but it truly is the intro because that's why there's a switch up there. That's why, like, you know, you listen to Interstellar, then you listen to the whole project, and you're like, what the hell? You know, what the
mm,
hell? But I did that for a reason because Interstellar is another play into I'm working on it because, like, I hope, like, when people watch this, they can kind of, like, before they get to this part, they get an idea of, like, how I kind of am as a person, or at least like with being vulnerable about my experiences and emotions and things like that. And so like with what I've said so far about some of the songs on this, and then you look at the title as like I'm working on it, this whole project has been about like from start to finish, me being completely transparent with all of my grief that I've experienced, that I have endured, that I've like slowly overcome slash am overcoming, and just all the trials and tribulations of what it means to be a good person. What is a good person? Am I a good person? I don't have the answers to that. I don't know. I I'm working on it. and
mm,
and Interstellar paints that intro because it's like when you start asking yourself all these questions like what does it mean to be a good person? Am I a good person? The state of the world, the state of my emotions, the state of just like being human, like everything, like it feels out of space. It feels like you could even say like you're in a matrix. There's
mm,
just like, you know, and that's why Interstellar had to be there. It had to be the opening. It had to be, it's like a statement that like, you know, Interstellar until I find you. And it's a lot about identity. Like finding you is finding me. And it's like until I do that, it's interstellar. Like I'm out of space. Like mind, body, and soul is what I've really been on lately, and trying to find a balance of my mind, my body, and my soul, who I am as a person, who I am as an artist, and who I am as a human. Just finding the balance, trying to understand all of that stuff. Um, that's like what this project is. And then also like mainly the grief of like losing my grandmother, um, which is why the song also like the project closes with "Heaven surrounds us like a mother's embrace," and there's just such a play because from that song playing back into Interstellar, if you live
Mm.
like I don't know if anyone's ever done that, but started the project from the last song into the first song, it there yeah, it's a little treat there, it's a little treat there, but
Okay.
yeah, man, it's like I truly love this project. It is it means a lot to me, and it's just like it's a place to feel safe, to some sort of understanding. I think that's like where I like to put myself there, and like that's what I want for anyone who listens to the project. Like I just want like you don't have to like the project, you don't have to listen to every single thing really. Like if there's one song, just one fucking song that catches you, that you connect to, that makes you feel like, damn, even if the whole world's against me, like this dude right here is feeling what I'm feeling. So like I guess like I can't really say I'm alone. Then that's it. That's it.
Okay. I respect that. And when it comes to any upcoming like music videos, which songs out of your out of I'm working on it got a chance to get a music video?
Um, I want to say like Val. Val is like kind of like the main one right now that I think definitely should get one. Val and like Neon Panic. I would say yeah. I'd say those literally those three songs that are right next to each other. Like Neon Panic, Val, and Flower Bed. I would really shift towards shooting something for them. But like Val, I think
Okay.
is kind of like my main focus right now that I'm trying to work on something to get something done for that.
And how you go about selecting which track is gonna get a music video?
Um, a lot of it is really just about the feeling. I don't like I don't like to like like this song is gonna be like a popular song or whatever the case is. No, like I think it's just like for me, it's all about the feeling. Like those songs are definitely some of the songs on the project that I poured like more of myself into than anything else, and they really hold like a dear place in my heart. So like that's just kind of like wanting to see like the vision at its fullest form, if possible. But like yeah,
Hmm. And how you go about marketing and promoting your music?
so like before like it, dude, I've just done so many trials. Like in the beginning, a lot of it was like, I got into like Submit Hub. I got into, SoundCloud Repost. I got into Miso Soup. I got into like just every like underground, like independent, like artist kind of like promoting thing you can do. And then like I started
Hmm.
working with, like this like label called Static. They do a lot of like animated videos and lyric videos and stuff like that, and I would like send them a lot of my early work, and that kind of like helped in getting my sound out. And then like I obviously I tried ads and things like that and whatnot, but like now like where I'm at now, it's really like fine tuning everything now because I think like the first like 3 years was really just finding the sound, discovering myself, what this is for me, what I'm trying to do with my art. Um, and then now that I got all that, now it's like how do I get people to consume it? Like, how do I get it to reach the audience correctly? And so, it's been like content, content on
Mm,
every platform. I'm posting like YouTube shorts now too, of just like stuff that I've recorded. So like, content, YouTube Reels, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, TikTok. And then, I'll eventually start like fine tuning my marketing campaigns too. Because I did like a Spotify one to just test out, which wasn't bad, but I think like there's just better natural ways to go about like all this stuff, which is what I'm trying to do. Because like I realize like I want to really build something real, something, something I can really grasp, I guess, like tangible. Um, because that's important to me. I don't just want like overnight success. It's something I never want. I want people to really connect. I want people to really like feel something, whether from the music or just from me just being me, like that's how I am as like a person. That's like my identity. So I like I like I like making people feel comfortable and safe. And I want that to also translate to like just like me as an artist and my music and how it's like digested and whatnot. Um, yeah, so that's like the main thing for me.
okay. And where's your skill set within being an artist?
Mm, like skill set wise, I'd say I'm pretty like decent for the most part. I wouldn't say I'm like the greatest artist in the world. I think that I'm great at what I do. Like I'm great at my art, and that's how I like it. I think I'm the greatest at what I do, and so I always
Yeah,
think
I'm
that my
what
art is
I'm
good.
asking is like do you play the instrument? Do you like
Oh,
songwrite? Yeah, like
yeah,
where's your skill set?
I songwrite, for sure. I play a little bit of guitar and bass. Um,
Okay.
And I mean, like I mentioned producing, so I do produce. I've been getting into engineering like the last 2 years, so that's been really fun. I've been like off of the project. There are like 4 songs, if not five, I mixed. Um, and then the ones I didn't mix were mixed by like my um, regular engineer who I work with. But it's just been studying like really studying the craft and trying to expand my plate as much as possible because I think it's just you don't got to be the best at everything. But it is important to know like the necessary things. Um, but yeah, I would say that's like my skill set. Pretty decent range.
Okay. Okay, okay. And I'm curious, are you interested to dabble in any other form of media? Like when we see you voice acting or acting or anything of that
Yeah,
nature?
that would be cool. I've like I've definitely been told to get into modeling.
Okay.
I I literally just don't know the right way to go about that. That might be something I would do later down the line though, because I really do like fits is a big thing for me. I love like yeah, just I mean if you see my social like my specifically like my Instagram page for my music, like I love outfits, like just style. That's a big part of me. It's a part of my identity, how I dress and things like that. Is also a part of how I express myself. So yeah, that would be really cool. Voice acting and acting would be something I'd definitely love to do too, though, because I did do I definitely have done like a play for sure in my life. So
Mm,
like yeah, I would love to actually step into that field and give it a shot. If the opportunity ever presents itself, I'll definitely like take it. That's just kind of like how I am. If it's there, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna give it a shot. I think it's worth to just try something new.
I respect that. I respect that. And my last question that I will have for you, before we end it off, what was the most, out of your catalog so far, what is the most challenging song that, for you to complete?
Hmm. Mm, that's a really good question. Uh, what was the most challenging song for me to complete? I would say if I had to think of a song, yeah, it would have to be off of this project. Okay, so yeah, because I'm like looking at my catalog and thinking about it. It's like some of these songs were really hard to make or really do. It was maybe like some specific stuff. And if that's
Mm,
the case, I would say that from I'm working on it, Val would
okay.
be the song because like I wrote Val in 2022, I think I want to say, or like I started it 2022, and like all I had kind of was like the intro and the hook, and I knew that this was something. Like I knew that this was definitely something. There was something like being told here. I just didn't really know what it was yet, and I think that like that's one thing I've also like recently loved to. I mean, yeah, discovered that I love. It's like when you make music, when you make a piece of work, art, whatever, and sometimes it just might not be the time for that piece. You just haven't learned the lesson yet, or you haven't gotten the final piece yet, whatever it is, but it'll come to you because yeah, that's what Val was, you know, there were a lot of things that were missing. There was lessons that still needed to be learned before I could fully like write this song and create what it stands for and what it means. And yeah, yeah, Val, that would be the one.
Okay. Shout out to that. And I'm curious, I know I said that was the last question, but I was actually curious on this one as well. What is your
Yeah.
all-time favorite collaboration?
Oh, no, that's a crazy curveball. Oh,
Mm,
um, that's a crazy curveball. Damn, bro. How'd you do that to me?
I had to send you off with a
Nah,
bang.
this is a crazy one, cause like, oh man, there's some stuff that like, yo.
What you got? What you
Okay.
got?
I'm stuck between two songs. It's two songs that were on um my last project before I'm working on it, which was Days We Waited Volume 2. And it's really gonna be stuck between these two songs because just like if it wasn't for Val, I would say like those two songs were like also pretty kind of hard to write because there's a lot just needed to be learned and felt through before I wrote them. But yeah, it would be Scorpio Sun, which features Fly High Drew and Young Min, versus Valedictorian, which features Anna Marie Rosanio. I'm sorry. Um, but those two songs, uh, for
Okay.
sure. Sure. I'm leaning towards Scorpio Sun. I might go, yeah, I'm gonna
Mm,
go with Scorpio Sun. That's the one I
okay.
told you that I said, like, I have something that's kind of like country, but it's more indie. That's the song right there.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. And it's called Scorpion?
It's called Scorpio Sun.
Scorpio Sun. Okay, okay.
Hmm.
I definitely check it out.
Yeah, that song is, I think if somebody was to ask me, like, what's one song that would really give me an idea of what like the highway story kind of is, that's a really good song to I would recommend. Yeah, those two songs they would definitely be up there for me to recommend because they show like the softer side of my music. Because like I said, I do a lot of like I do a lot of like rap and heavy alternative and rock shit, but like this is more of like that softer, sonder shit. And
Mm,
yeah, like it's like really me tapping into that like that vulnerability that like I'm not afraid to tell you I'm hurting or whatever or like I'm wrong or whatever the case is. I'll never be the person who will shy away from their wrongs or faults. That's how I try to carry myself, and even more so now more than ever. You know, and so like those are things I want to be able to feel through my music. And that's like a song that really does that for me.
shout out to you. It was great to have you on this podcast. I
Yo, it was a
appreciate
pleasure, man.
I appreciate you showing up and promoting yourself.
Thank you.
No problem. Before you go, shout out all your platform, shout out anybody that you want to put on, and then drop a song out of your catalog you want the audience to tune into.
Gotcha. Um, so real quick, it was a pleasure and an honor to be here to share this platform with you to just be able to like, talk and yeah, this experience was just amazing, man. Like I said, I love doing stuff like this because I think it's really important for the artists to show up and not just be mysterious to be human because that's what we all need to be seen as. We need to tap back into that empathetic side, of our humanity. And yeah, this is the way. Um,
Much
but I'm the
love.
highway story, and you can find me on all social platforms, just socials, everything, streaming under the highway story, like one word. Um, and yeah, I'm super friendly to any artists, creators that are also listening, viewing in. Like, feel free to reach out, tap in. Like, I'm always down to try to work or whatever the case is, chop it up, whatever the case. Um, and if there's a song I would want you guys to listen to from the project, it's gonna be Neon Panic. After what I
Mm.
said, like, y'all gotta listen to Neon Panic. I think that it's like a certified hood banger to me, especially for like if you're like a black kid, colored kid, whatever the case is, and you just grew up like people telling you like, yo, you shouldn't be listening to that kind of music or whatever.
Mm.
It's a song for you. It's a song for you for real because yo, like never let anyone tell you what you can or can't listen to or you can or can't do. Like, and I'm just trying to be the living proof of that. Like, yo, we can do whatever the hell we want. Like, we have the power, and that is all. I truly wish that everyone that is joining for the ride enjoys it and knows that, the highway story is not just me, it's like all of us. Like that's what it's supposed to be. That's where the whole like highway story comes from. Like taking the band ideas, it's we're all on a journey
Mm-hmm.
and we're all on separate highways, we're all telling our own versions of our stories. That's what the highway story is to me. And that's what I want it to be for you and everyone, for whoever's listening. And that's it.
Shout out to you. Much love.
Thank you, brother. Always.
Like I said, from like checking out your work, I definitely see potential in your music. So I'm definitely looking forward to your success.
Thank you, brother.
No problem.